Oh, it is twist off. Ooh, okay. Twist off and you are fucking hurting. Yes, I did it twice. Oh. I propose a toast to hipsters. Now stay with me. Hipsters, hipsters, hipsters. We love to hate them now, don't we? With their skinny jeans and their liking a band before it went all mainstream. And everything just has to be ironic. I've got a question for you. What's the meaning of the word irony? Irony is actually the noun form of an adjective. Ironic. And ironic refers to when something happens that is the opposite of what is expected happens. Here's the thing though, irony is actually really rare. Can you say that it's just when something unexpected or odd or peculiar happens? No, that's just when something unexpected, odd, or peculiar happens. That's not ironic. Irony is when you go into an elevator, hit the little 10 floor button, to take you up to the 10th floor, and then you wind up going down 10 floors instead. That would be the opposite of what is expected happening. But the way that we talk about irony, we use it incorrectly. With the elevator example, that would be like hitting the 10 button and then having the elevator just like shoot you out the front door and then you like tumbling out onto the street. That would be a very unexpected, odd, and peculiar thing to happen, and that's how we usually talk about irony, and that's not irony. It's not. So the core of being a hipster, being ironic, actually isn't even the case. They're not being ironic, they're just being hypocritical. Saying that they're doing one thing but actually doing something else. Examples of this hypocrisy would be claiming to like Pabst Blue Ribbon when honestly dying a little bit each time when you drink it. Maybe displaying a vintage, sloppy look from that hole-in-the-wall non-mainstream clothing store, like Urban Outfitters or American Apparel. Claiming you're screwed by the socioeconomic order of the United States, even though you're from an upper-middle-class family, and you're white, and you self-identify as male and straight. Boys, boys, boys. You got it so fucking easy. Of course, not every hypocritical hipster is straight, male, white, or from an affluent background. And just because you're from an affluent background, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have had bad things happen to you. But that doesn't legitimize their attempts to make a mockery of other people's lives by being a cultural snob. The defining method of a hipster's hypocrisy is material, or rather, the material symbology that they steal from other people. I think one of the reasons why we really don't like hipsters, especially people who identify as geeks like me, is that they cling to the meaningful symbols stolen from other people's paths or cultures or ways of life so that they can feel more emotionally or spiritually complete. For example, the latest fad within the hipster world seems to be all things Native American, such as wearing a belt that is Navajo, even though, guess what guys, it's actually not Navajo, it's actually Diné, but that aside. Or wearing an eagle feather as a sign of beauty. Guys, do you know what an eagle feather was used to refer to in a large amount of Native American groups prior and also during the first European encroachment? Like with the headdresses and stuff? Each one of those feathers was a person that you motherfucking killed! Those war bonnets with all the feathers? Yeah, those are fucking intimidating. I don't care how good you look in your skinny jeans, that does not make you killer. In short, hipsters want to have the perks of being a geek, a nerd, a lumberjack, a screamo, a biker, or a poor person without having to take the crap for it. Why am I toasting these posers? After my gut reaction of, ugh, pretentious pricks with their whiny music and bad hygiene, I ask myself, do I not like these people, these hipsters, because I see something in them that I don't like about me? Do I take on these symbols and these identities and things without really connecting to them? The answer is, yeah. The thing is that even though I grew up listening to Irish music from my dad or from the CD player or, wearing the cloth or learning to fucking hate the British, does that really make me Irish? Where does my identity come from? Does it come from the place that I grew up in? Can I just say that I'm a Midwesterner that hails from St. Louis, behooving to the Quaker ideologies that got instituted into the society? Well, even if I thought that was the end of that deal, I don't think I could say that either, because I've spent substantial amounts of time in the American South, as well as in Minnesota, which is the Texas of the North, and in Chile, and now in New York, and I know that I've adopted little bits and pieces of those social and cultural norms from all those places. But what norms are those? Are they Christian ones? Well, then what about the fact that I've been a practicing Buddhist and Taoist for over a decade? Or maybe there's something to say about the regional culture in all of this, but that would completely discredit the time that I've learned living the philosophy and the martial arts of the Korean diaspora that taught me in Edojang for, that's a long 13. 13 years. Okay. 13. Oh my god, I feel old. And it's not just that. I mean, what about my socioeconomic status? What about the fact that I'm male-bodied? What about the fact that I'm a white? Or that I'm gay? Or that I'm androgynous? Or I'm an unabashed geek? Seriously, guys? Destiel. It had better fucking happen. Basically, identity isn't clear-cut and obvious. And neither is meaning. Value and meaning are developed individually and communally. And some of that is gonna be developed superficially. I'm toasting hipsters because hipsters encapsulate this entire clusterfuck of a situation, and then they take it one step further. They embody the hypocrisy that we all live. They tack on the superficial symbols that we all do in order to find meaning and belonging. But they do it without claiming to be hipster. I claim to be Irish, I claim to be Buddhist, I claim to be a black belt, which I am, by the way, but I don't claim to be a hipster. No hipster will. These folks' way of life encapsulates everything that is truly false about our own ways of life, and they don't take credit for it. They don't band around that as a mark of their community, of their collective meaning. Exactly where meaning is created by their actions, they deny it. That is ironic. They are ironic. Hipsters actually are who they say they are, which is more than what I can say for myself. They seek meaning in a world that seems devoid of it, grabbing hold of any life-raft symbol that they can find to keep them afloat as they swim in this dizzying sea of cultures that is based upon lies, ineptitude, and silence just long enough so that they can find something else that might bring them another symbol to grab, another thing that might bring them closer to meaning, closer to community, closer to life's point with a capital P. Hipsters are admirable, if a bit hypocritical and bratish, but I mean, so is everyone. To hipsters, for reminding me to keep it real, and reminding me that identity is never a settled matter. Cheers. Shock Top, you promised me pumpkin. I taste no pumpkin. Motherfucking hypocritical or ironic? Wait. So this is what it's like to wear a corset. Here's the thing though. Fish face. And then you wind up going down 10 flights of stairs, steps, 10 levels, 10 floors. That one. Oh my god. That ass. D isn't clear cut or